Hey, everybody, welcome to Pep Talk, the podcast. We give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God, where we take all these interesting, complex, and sometimes a little goofy conversations in the health and wellness world, and we break them down into small, understandable, bite-sized conversational pieces. And then we give you action steps on things you can do to improve the quality of your health, the health of your family. And if you're a physician, I know there's a lot of you watching today that are doctors, you can help improve the health of your patients and your community. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Naputi. I've been a practicing functional medicine and functional neurological doctor for over 20 years now, and I'm excited to talk to you today about something that almost everybody is negatively affected on. This is going to be a short topic on it, but this is a deep conversation. There's many, many problems and many root causes of these problems, but we're talking about sleep deprivation. Did you know that hundreds of millions of people across the globe are not sleeping well? They're not sleeping deeply. They're not waking up rested. Even when you supposedly sleep through the night, you don't wake up with energy and vibrant to go through the day. This is a big problem. We know that sleep deprivation can lead to learning issues, cognitive impairment, literally shrinking of the gray matter in your brain, organ dysfunction, high stress levels, anxiety, depression, insomnia, blood sugar issues, overeating, obesity, and much, much more. But I need you to understand that sleep really affects something really massively, which is it impairs cognitive performance and learning. And that's really a big piece of what I want to get into today is the cognitive learning component. I just had a meeting with a group of physicians who specialize in helping adults and children with certain neurodivergent problems. We're talking about ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, anything on the autism spectrum, and so much more. And we were talking about the importance of sleep. And if you're not sleeping proper, you're not healing proper. Let me give you an analogy. Your brain there's multiple components, but I want to give you two big components of your brain. Think about a teeter-totter or a seesaw, whatever it is that you call it when you were growing up, a scale, if you will. Well, when one side goes up, the other side goes down. And it's all about a balance, right? Well, there's two components of the brain. You have one part of the brain that's called the gas pedal. That's your sympathetic nervous system. That's your fight or flight response. That's the get up and go. That's the stress response. That's what most of you feel almost all day long is that go, 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 fight or flight response. Well, the opposite side of that is your brake pedal. That's the part of your brain that allows you to rest, relax, grow, develop, heal. It's digestion, it's metabolism, it's all that stuff. Well, if your gas pedal's stuck on go and your brakes aren't working, your body can't rest, it can't digest, it can't heal, it can't grow, it can't do so many things. And all day long, our brain and body should be going through this balancing act. But also, as we go through our day, when we wake up in the morning, our stress slowly increases. Well, when we go to bed at night, that's when our body pushes the reset button. But if we're having sleep deprivation because we have genetic imbalances, gut bacterial imbalances, toxicities, deficiencies, even if we have too much doom scrolling that people do and neurotransmitter imbalances, that can lead to these issues. And we know that sleep impacts cognitive function and learning through a part of the brain called the hippocampus, which is memory, more than any other aspect of the brain. Let me show you this. Both REM, I'm going to talk about these, both REM, which is the rapid eye movement sleep. You ever see people when they're sleeping and their eyes are moving up and down? That's that deep sleep, and the non-REM sleep, those different stages that are necessary to go through that sleep-wake cycle are affected by, if those are affected, that affects your memory negatively. Even minor sleep restrictions negatively impact memory, which really causes serious problems, and it leads to less quality of life and less quantity of life. And I'm all about improving the quality and function of people's health. And there are a couple biohacks that I'm going to tell you about that have been clinically proven to help improve the memory function that comes from people not sleeping. How many of you are having memory problems? How many of you are forgetting where, your keys are, or what you did yesterday, or, the tasks that you're supposed to accomplish? Most of those folks are stuck in that sympathetic overload, and their fight or flight response is on overdrive, and their brain is just not able to really absorb the nutrients. You could be missing out on a lot of cognitive and physical peak performance because you're not sleeping. So let's talk a little bit about this. Listen to these statistics. This is the annual impact globally on sleep deprivation. According to the WHO, the World Health Organization, the global impact of sleep disorders, approximately, listen to this, 55% of the world's population, 55% of the world's population ain't sleeping like they're supposed to. So that means 55% of the population, there's no way that their parasympathetic nervous system can be working to optimal function, which leads to all these issues, including poor productivity, insomnia, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, all of the things, right? So let's talk about some of the main causes of sleep issues. And I'm going to talk about it more from a natural standpoint, because here's the reality. If you have to take something to help you sleep, that's like a Tylenol PM or a tranquilizer or some type of sleeping pill, you're not going through those normal sleep cycles. And even if some folks are taking certain supplements like melatonin, St. John's wort, other things that are out there, you may not be getting into that deep sleep, that you need to be getting to help that circadian cycle work. So let's talk about this. What are some of the things that could be problematic? There's a circadian rhythm that individuals have, a sleep-wake cycle that gets disrupted very often. And it can be disrupted by, sleeping in a room that's not completely dark, having the television on or the radio on. It can be disrupted by, all kinds of things. Even daylight savings time, which we see happen all the time here in North America, leads to difficulties with sleeping and staying asleep. Number two, poor sleep hygiene. This is a big one. Habits and environmental stresses like irregular bedtime, eating too late. Okay, you should be consistent with your meals and consistent with your sleep patterns. Having stimulants, caffeine, or alcohol in the evening time or before bed. I mean, even certain supplements, even taking certain vitamins at the wrong time of the day could be a problem. That's why what I do with my patients is I have them all take a genetic profile test. We measure over 800,000 SNPs in their body, and it can tell us not just what supplements are best for that person to take from a genetic receptor standpoint, but also what times of the day could be best for those patients to have those. For example, if I take B vitamins, me personally, because I have an MTHFR gene imbalance, if I take my methylated B12 or I take my methylated B9 in the afternoon, it's going to cause some serious problems with my sleep-wake cycle. And I'm not going to sleep like I'm supposed to. It's just a fact. So it's important to know your sleep hygiene. Number three, stress, man, and chronic anxiety. Stress is the common cause of all symptoms, sicknesses, death, and disease on the planet. But it's physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress. It's not just the emotional stresses of life. Now, I have people come to see me all the time that have all kinds of health challenges. And they say to me, I'm not stressed out. Yes, you are. You have physical imbalances and chemical imbalances, but you may emotionally feel like you're fine. But there's three types of stress, and those types of stress get broken down into subcategories. So getting to the root cause of your stress physically, chemically, and neurologically is a powerful, powerful tool. Number four, nutritional deficiencies. And I'm going to give you the top ones. Nutritional deficiencies. Number one, magnesium. If you don't have the right amount of magnesium, and I'm going to tell you, it's probably, if not the most, one of the top two or three most common nutritional deficiencies on the planet to this day. I'm a big fan of every man, woman, and child supplementing with magnesium. It's very difficult to get into our food supply, and most people don't have enough of it in our system. So if you're not getting enough magnesium, sleeping is going to be a problem. Now, magnesium does like 300 different things enzymatically in the body, but sleep is a big one. So how do you dose magnesium? Take your body weight, take that number times 10.6 and divide it by 2.5. That's about how many milligrams a day of magnesium you should be supplementing in your diet. What kind of magnesium? Magnesium glycinate seems to be kind of a catch-all, really easy, inexpensive magnesium that everybody can benefit from, that doesn't cause a lot of digestive GI issues or other symptoms or side effects. Now, when should you take it? Before you go to bed. Usually about an hour before you go to sleep. So magnesium is a big one. Calcium can be a big one as well, even though I don't put a lot of people on calcium supplements because we have a lot of calcium in our food supply, and a lot of times it's in other supplements that people are taking. But I have a test, not guess policy. Get a blood test done. As long as your calcium levels are below a 10.6 on a blood test, it's probably safe for you to supplement with some calcium. Vitamin D is a big one. If your vitamin D on a blood test is below a 60, you're going to have some issues getting that really good sleep that you need. Your blood test should be a vitamin D3 between a 60 and a 100. Most people supplement with vitamin D3, about 10,000 to 15,000 international units a day. By the way, 10,000 international units of D3 is like 0.25 milligrams. It's such a low dose. I hear people say all the time, that's such a high dose. Well, who told you that? Nobody. You just assume that. My Uncle Bob, the pig farmer, told me. Well, Uncle Bob, the pig farmer, may not know much about vitamin D. He may, but he probably doesn't. So it's a big one. When do you take it? Either first thing in the morning or before you go to bed is totally fine. And then the B vitamins. Having your genes checked to see if you need methylated B vitamins and avoiding synthetic B vitamins that could be non-methylated could be a very big cause of your sleep circadian cycle issues. So you should take your B vitamins first thing in the morning. You should take your magnesium more later in the evening. That can help. Those are some big ones. There's others, but those are the big ones. Number 5, lack of physical activity. Look, if your body has energy and it needs to expend this energy and you're not expending it, guess what? You're not going to sleep very well. We are creatures of movement. We need to be doing things. Get out, walk, move, breathe, physical activity. If you have a sedentary job, get out and do some physical activity. Get out and go for a walk every day. Go to the gym, exercise, do something. If you don't, you can't be healthy. It's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Number 6, hormonal imbalances. Having imbalances in melatonin, cortisol, thyroid, those kinds of things can lead to serious issues. Even progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone can play a role in the sleep-wake cycle. But cortisol, which is the stress hormone produced by the adrenals, whether it's too high or too low, that could be a serious issue with folks. So make sure you get your hormone levels checked and balanced naturally. Number 7, poor gut health. Look, our body has literally trillions and trillions of bacteria in and on it that we coexist with. And if we don't have the right amounts of those bacteria, and the data shows that 95% of the global population does not, and if you're not supplementing, you're not improving that, there's no way that your body can make the neurotransmitters like noradrenaline, serotonin, GABA, the list goes on that helps your brain turn on and turn off, that allows you to sleep and stay asleep. I've had so many people say to me, man, I started on taking some of the right probiotics and eating fermented foods that you discussed. I like a spore-based microbiotic that helps the body absorb the strands of bacteria that are normally in the blue zones of the world. I personally take a formula called Master Microbiotic, and that helps the body produce serotonin, which helps us rest, relax, sleep, and be happy. And also melatonin. Serotonin is the precursor to melatonin. So it's really important to have that gut health balanced. Number 8, reducing chronic inflammation. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet, eating more of a ketogenic carnivore type of a food plan, but eating for your DNA. That's the key. Understanding, does your body need more protein? Does it need more carbohydrates? Does it need more, fats? What do you need? And adjusting your lifestyle according to that really is the key. Avoiding environmental stresses and toxins. Folks, we come into contact with, somewhere around 700,000 toxins every day. The food we eat, the air we breathe, the stuff we wash our clothes with. I mean, it's everywhere. So doing some things to mitigate and reduce your exposure to those toxins is powerful. But man, there's heavy metals and plastics and forever chemicals all over and everything. So taking formulas, like I recommend a Detox Pro Plus formula that helps the body rid itself of heavy metals, toxins, even can help the body mitigate the risk of parasites and candida. It's what you should be doing on a regular basis. I'm also a big fan of mitigating your exposure to blue lights, using blue blockers and having blue screens and all that kind of stuff, because your body uses photosynthesis through the eyes to help it, balance these traits out. So, engaging in a sleep routine, exercise, sleeping in a dark, quiet place, reducing screen time and blue light exposure, especially before bed, texting and TikTok scrolling before bed it's killing you. It really, truly is. Managing your stress is the key. Supplementing properly, increasing your exposure to natural light, and getting your genes measured is the key to health. We found that doing this can improve sleep function, which then improves cognitive function, which then helps people be more focused, less stressed, and just helps them be happier, healthier, and ultimately wealthier individuals. I know this is a lot of info, probably different than you've heard before. So I want you to go back, rewatch this, listen to this, take notes on it. Go to our website. That's peptalk.world, peptalk.world. Like, subscribe, share what we've got to offer with your friends, family, and your community. Go on social media, tag us, and share the results that you're getting. It will change your life and change it forever if you put this into play. Remember, knowledge is power, but wisdom is taking that knowledge and applying it to your life. So, folks, until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Stay smart out there, and I'll see you next time. Be well.